Good morning, everyone. Gail, hi. Darlene, hello there. It's good to see you again. And I hope I know I'm probably going to mispronounce your name. Is it Suzusa? If you could come on, that'd be wonderful. You're welcome to unmute and join us on camera if you want.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Gail. How are you?
Very well. Long time no see.
It has been. So this is our office hours, for a lack of a better term. And sometimes we have a topic that we discuss. Sometimes we just do Q&A. Here comes Liza. I will admit her. And then we always end with a nice little meditation at the end to get our day started. So if you have questions, I'm just going to recap. We did the last 4 weeks on a speaker's presentation. Hi, Liza. Okay. So I did the quickly recap, and then we can go into any questions you have, any topics you want to bring up. You know, this is about all of us. So
there we go.
All right, now you can hear us.
I didn't realize my earbuds were hooked up across the room.
Jamie,
Good morning.
Jamie, can you hear the buzz of my dishwasher over my voice? So I'll go in another room.
No, I can't.
Anybody else? Okay. All right. Otherwise I'd move because it's annoying. And there's background
nope, not hearing it.
Okay.
So I think we're good.
Good.
All right. So let me just recap, and then we can go into whatever anybody wants to talk about today. In the speaker series, one of the things, you know, it's sometimes hard to explain to people what we do. Get that, you know, what's the first thing people ask you? Oh, what do you do? And then to quickly and concisely explain that. And we realize how important that is, because 95% of entrepreneurs cannot clearly and concisely say what they do. And we don't want to be part of that 95%. We want to be able to say it. So we engage with people so we can share our message. It's not just that we're trying to get business, but I think most of us believe what we do is really important and can be really life transforming. So we want to be able to share our message with as many people as possible. To do that, we have to be able to explain what it is we do, for crying out loud. So remember that you're always presenting, whether you're at a networking group, you're approaching a shelter manager to discuss the possibility of bringing this method into the shelters. Maybe you're at an animal group, you know, all the dogs breeds have their own groups. Maybe you're doing a presentation, maybe for a rescue group, maybe for a trade show, wherever it is. Maybe it's just on Zoom and you're doing a meditation circle. That is presenting. So you're always presenting, and that's something to keep in mind, that you are. And what every presentation must have is, before you do anything, you have to know your audience. If you're going to a shelter to speak to the manager about bringing Animal Reiki into the shelter, that's not going to look like the same conversation if you are at a network group where it's just business people. So it's important that you know your audience. It's important that you connect with your audience, because we're emotional beings. We want to connect, and we do that through stories, because humans are storytellers. So we went over what to do to engage your audience and how to connect to them with stories in this presentation. We learned that we need to grab their attention when we first introduced the story. And we learned what we needed in the body of the story. And then we also learned that there's a specific way to close, that we have to have a call to action for a follow-up. And all of that is in more detail, and all of these have been posted to the YouTube channel. So you can always go back if you missed any and you want to watch those, you can do that there. So that pretty much sums up our speaker's presentation. If you have questions on that, you can bring them up now. If you have other questions, if you just want to share an experience, that's fine. Look who's there, Bodhi. How is Bodhi doing, Darlene? Darlene got a new puppy. Whoops.
Sorry, I was trying to find the mute. So he's doing well. He's doing better, taking treats. So able to work with him a little better. You figure it's only been since August 3rd. So, but he's doing really well. I just need to break him of waking up every morning at 4:30, 4:45. So it's like that. So.
That's wonderful. Oh, look, and Lisa's got her baby cuddled up to her. So a lot of the ladies know each other, but I had a chance to talk to Gail yesterday, and she's in Canada. She is a horsewoman, among other things. She does a lot of energy work, communication. And Gail, would you mind just introducing yourself to everyone so they can get to know you as well?
Sure. It's really nice to be part of this group, and it's nice that it's so intimate. So many of these groups have 100 people in them and you never get to know anybody. Is this the part, Jamie, where I tell people what I do?
Absolutely. Yes, tell people what you do.
Okay. Reading my audience of animal lovers. I'll try to be short. I'm 68, and all of the energy world came to me, as it probably has to many of you, when I was 17, with dreams that came carbon copy true. That an airplane crash, people who were traveling and they were coming back on a day when I knew a snowstorm was going to come, and you tell them. And once I tell people what might happen or what's going to happen, I'm absolved. I'm a conduit. The information goes to them, and I'm done. So it started there. And an affinity with animals all my life, and some other energy world that I didn't know at the time what it was. And so as things evolved, I decided, these dreams just kept coming. And so there was a woman who said to me that there was an animal communication course in Hamilton, Ontario. And so I took it. Sue Becker was her name, the woman who did the course. And it was over the telephone. So there might have been 6 people on and me. And it turned out that whenever she would do an exercise where, for instance, she sent us an image, okay? And you had to concentrate what was the image. And then you were to tell her what you got. So I got pink, what's the thing you get at the circus? It's all fluffy and you eat it.
Cotton candy?
Cotton candy. So I got pink cotton candy. People got some other things. And there was one lovely woman on there who, no matter what she asked, she always said, "Oh, I see love." And that's how we all loved her. It was very funny. Anyway, I kept getting exactly what she was sending. So much so that I knew if I carried on saying that the others might be discouraged because they were starting out. And so I was just quiet, but I still did the exercises, but I didn't say much of anything. And then I realized that I was receiving the information accurately. And so I started reading animals for my friends. And darn it, it just kept being accurate. And I told Jamie this. Can I tell this one thing I told you yesterday?
Absolutely,
Jamie?
please do.
If I go on too long, this is over 50 years of this stuff. So just tell me when that's enough, and I'll try not to carry on too much. But I was doing a communication, and it's all through photographs, and it's all distance communication. My head's too busy for me to stand in front of your dog and listen to what the dog has to say, because I hear things around me and my head's too busy. So anyway, she sent me this picture, a very foggy picture, and she said, "I'm in a panic." I knew this woman, and she was over 1,500 kilometers away in Nova Scotia. And she said, "Can you ask him?" I go in with intention. "Can you ask him why he won't drink," is all she said. "And does he want to go to the island?" That's Prince Edward Island, which is another province, like a state in America, in Canada. And he said 2 things. I cannot eat and I cannot drink. And yes, I need to go to the island, make sure Dawn, the person, has triple the shavings, the stuff on the floor in a horse trailer, because I might be wobbly, was his word. I wouldn't use it. And he said, I have, quote, a growth in the bottom of my swallow. And I said, well, what does that mean? Those words mean nothing to me. So he showed me an image like you'd see in high school of a magnifying glass with this vein with a lump in the bottom of it, so that when he went and pushed his head down to drink or eat, it pressed and was painful. 2 vets saw him that afternoon, and they said that they found a growth in the bottom of his jugular vein. I can't make that stuff up. I've horses over 50 years, never heard of it. A dog who was on his last days with what do you get from ticks? Lyme disease. The intention was, what will he eat? They tried chicken, fish, the whole thing. His answer was pureed squash. I thought, oh, I can't send this to these people. That's ridiculous. Dogs don't eat pureed squash. They don't even know what it is. That's my earth self, right? Getting in the way. Nope, you send what you get. Sure enough, that is the only thing that dog would eat until he died. So we don't have a manual, as you know, for your Reiki work, for my work. And the only way we know for sure is the testimonials or the results that we get. And as you do it more and more and more, you start becoming more confident. You always have humility. You always know you can be wrong, but it gets stronger the more you practice. So if any of you are starting out, just keep doing it. So I do that. I do soul readings for people who have emotional trouble or pain. And I told Jamie one yesterday, that's pretty amazing. I find people's spirit animals, which is the easiest thing for me to do. And they're absolutely blow your mind. And what else? Talking to animals who have passed, my favorite thing. It's always so uplifting and positive. And now I'm thinking of trying Reiki. So I'm in your group to find out what you folks do. And that's about it. I mean,
Well, we are happy you're here and bringing your wealth of experience.
Oh.
And, ladies, we always talk about the difference between animal communication and the Let Animals Lead method of Animal Reiki. But if you have any questions for Gail, this is a great opportunity, to get those questions answered. Or if you just have something else you'd like to bring up. And Mel joined us. Thank you, Mel. It's good to have you here.
Or if any of you have a story that will help me to understand how you do what you do.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, Mel. Yeah, there's a great thing. Would anybody like to share your experience with Reiki for Gail to kind of explain what it is, what you do, how it happens, if you have something that sticks out with you?
Something I asked Jamie yesterday when I was chatting with her was, and maybe this will direct you to something specific. What was your ooh-ah moment? Like the horse who had the problem in his vein, and I could never have known that. What was your time when you said, yeah, I got that? I'd be curious. Now I'm going to mute myself. So shut up.
So actually, I have an example yesterday.
Okay, Mel.
I have a beautiful path, like walking path out in the back of my house. It's about 2 miles long, and it's great. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I went out and I listened to meditation, binaural beats and stuff when I'm out there, because they're just so calming and they work with nature really well. And I stopped and I saw 2 deer. And I was just like, oh my God, beautiful, beautiful animals. So I went up on my way, and then yesterday I went again. And then, so, because I haven't connected with deers very often, but I was on my path again. And then I looked to the right and I saw a path opened where there wasn't one. So I was shown a path to take, another trail that doesn't actually exist, because when you look at it, it's not there, but I saw it. And had I not gone up that way, had I not seen another deer. And so I think because the deer that I saw the day before, I literally stood in front of it, probably like 30 feet away, but I was standing in front of it for a good 30 seconds and I connected with it. So, and this time it was standing to the right of me up a far path. And it's kind of like it was calling me to go down that path. And it was just such a beautiful sight. And then I went down further on the path and I decided to actually sit and do Reiki for all the animals in this part of the forest. And it was such a great experience. It's just, everything just opened up. And I don't know, it was just fantastic. But connecting with nature and animals together, it just leaves you in a place of really oneness and that understanding that, you know, we're all here for a purpose. And just having this session there was just so incredible. But yeah, I wanted to share that. Sorry.
Thank you, Mel. That sounds beautiful. It really does. You always have the most beautiful encounters to share with us. So
Could I say something about the deer?
Mhm.
Mel, that's really quite profound. The fact that the deer came to you in more than one deer, which is a collective, which is probably your spirit animal. And there's a fellow named Ted Andrews. You may already know of him. If you get his book, you can Google it online and say that the spiritual significance of deer in as a spirit animal or a guardian. Now be careful of that, because there are a lot of people out there who will want you to buy something or do something. So go out and find 5 different ones until you see a common theme, a common vein. But if you have a look at Ted Andrews' book about animal speak, it's called. I think you've got something happening here with deer, and the fact that there was a path. My spirit animals take me on the path, and it's too long to explain, but the last time they took me on the path, I ended up seeing an image of a huge wide river like the Hudson River in upstate New York, or New York City. It goes right in. And there were bodies, and there was a horrible thing going on, and the cityscape beyond was dark. And I said, oh, it must have burned. And spirit, or well, whatever you call it, source, or my animal, the wolf or bear, said, no, it's disease. And that was COVID. So when you have a quiet moment, go into your space and ask deer to take you on the path, and close your eyes. Just don't question it. Just go. Try it for fun. You can't lose. Thanks for that.
The thing is, you have something that's a little bit on the darker side. Is when I looked up, there was literally one of those hunting stands that was up on the tree. It was a metal ladder going up. And I was in shock. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this is not, I actually climbed up and took the straps off so nobody could climb it. So, and I was like, okay, I normally don't do that, but I'm like, I have to take these off because these animals should not be hunted. They're too pure. And you are right. One of my spirit animals, I have 7 for all my chakras, and I have a white stag for my crown chakra.
That's beautiful, Mel. Thank you. Liza, you unmuted. Did you have something you would like to share?
Yeah, a few things. I'll just share one thing for now, and if another opportunity comes up, I'll talk about something else. Tell me again the new gal's name.
Gail.
Gail, thank you. You had asked about like when we first really experienced it. Oh wow. There's lots of different things that happened along the way. I started doing Reiki, studying Reiki back in 2008, and was actually about a year and a half in, and I was sitting with a chicken that was in a crate, and she wasn't doing well. She hadn't been eating, she hadn't been drinking, and I just sat in front of her crate with her and, just set my intention for whatever needed to be or happen. And I was just sitting there with her in that space, holding Reiki space for her. And I just like, it almost felt like we were one. I guess that's how I would describe that feeling back then. And I just knew she needed to drink some water, you know, at least to have a little bit of comfort, because I knew she probably wasn't going to make it. And so I had a water bottle with me, and I picked it up, and I could feel it going down my throat and connecting with her, and that she knew, she could feel it. She could feel me drink that water, and she drank water right after I did that. And I was like, oh my goodness, we really can connect like this. It was a really, really, really cool experience.
That's pretty awesome. And you've worked with chickens since then, haven't you, Liza?
Oh yeah, there's a story on my website about a chicken that I got a frantic call that this chicken had gotten its leg caught in the crate thing that was staying, and it was a baby still. It was just small, and it wouldn't get up and walk, and the people were freaking out and said, "Can you come over?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes." So I went and sat with the chicken, and I guess the chicken was not fond of people, and so they were really surprised when the chicken actually laid up against my leg, and I sat with the chicken for probably about 45 minutes, I believe, and you know, just set my intention, saw the chicken at, you know, at its highest, brightest self. And when we were done, the chicken got up and walked away. And the people were like, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna live."
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Liza, for sharing.
Liza, can I ask, how do you set your intention? We all do it differently. And Jamie, is it okay if I ask these questions, or is this crazy?
Certainly. Go right ahead.
I'd just be curious. Can you explain how you do that? And it'll be different for everybody, but I'm curious.
Right. Yeah. And I would say I've had something weird going on lately when I do it too. So I work with both humans and animals. Like I have an office space where humans can come and have Reiki session, you know, and then for animals, I go to them. But I practice, we have different breathing practices, different meditative practices in the system of Reiki that we utilize. And that's usually how I started, is I just start a breathing exercise and I connect. So one of the breathing exercises we do is we breathe in, you know, and then as we're breathing out, you breathe out like you're breathing out your entire body, you're breathing out your skin. And so the energy is just spreading, right? And you're creating this beautiful space. That's oftentimes what I do. It's this weird thing that's been happening though, when I'm working with humans lately, is that, so, you know, I set my intention and I see you as your brightest self. I don't see any issues or concerns, even though we may have talked a little bit about, you know, what you have going on today, and we can set intention to, you know, maybe have some healing go to that. But that's ultimately, you know, the universe has in store what it has in store for you, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. We don't actually get to dictate that, right? So of late though, when I've been working with humans, you know, I do this and I see them sitting on a crescent moon as their beautiful bright self. This is a weird new thing that's been coming to me, and I'm like, okay, and they're just like looking out and looking over, and I don't know what that's about, but I'm like, okay, cool, right on, you know. And then I just go about my merry self doing my Reiki session. And so
That's
I
incredible.
hope that was a good enough explanation, if that made sense.
Yeah, it was good. And how do you know, what's the moment where you say, okay, I'm in my space? So in my case, I get you know, when glasses are too heavy on your nose,
Yeah.
I get that sensation that's really, really pressing in here, and my hands tingle, and I'm there, and I can open up the doors. What is it for you, or anybody else who's on here? I'm just curious.
I'll just say mine really quick, and then we can move on to somebody else. Because I start like this in Gasho, we call this. And there's a whole meditation that I learned that's really cool about how we put our hands together and what it means and how to connect to all of our energies, in our Reiki 3 energy centers, right? And that we keep the space here for openness when we are in Gasho. But anyway, so I start like that, you know, set my intention to be open to whatever healing is needed in the moment. Okay, Kira, sit down, please. Sit. Thank you. Good girl. And then I just feel the energy start flowing and
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
ready.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Darlene, do you have anything that you would like to share?
One of the stories that really was profound for me, and I think Mel's heard this story too, when I lost my girl Roxy back in January, and was just having a real hard time those couple days afterwards. And I'm also a reptile keeper for the new people that are here on the call. So, and I've got a couple of special needs bearded dragons, and it was like 5 days after Roxy had passed, and was just having a hard day. And I was taking care of Stevie, the bearded dragon, and just really, really missing Roxy. And Stevie just looked at me, and she opened up her mouth, and out came like Roxy's voice. If she had a voice, Roxy was my dog that had cancer, and out came like Roxy's voice saying, "Hi, Mom, I'm okay." And it just gave me this overwhelming sense of relief that I knew that she was okay. I'm getting choked up. and in a good place.
That's
So
beautiful.
that was,
Thank you for sharing that, Darlene.
that was pretty profound. And that's just kind of what helped, just shifted my Reiki practice into overdrive, so to speak, since then. So with animals in particular. So, and Gail, you're asking how I typically start is I just setting the intention. I'll just go into gasho, like Liza was saying, and just recite to myself or out loud that that I'm inviting the animal or animals into this space, and that they can take whatever they need or nothing at all. Just give them that option, that they're not obligated to come into the space. So
Thank you for that. It was lovely, especially about Roxy. Do you feel Roxy is still in the house?
Definitely.
Yeah, because Roxy will stay with you until you are ready to. And I did one cat, or a dog actually, in Nova Scotia one time, and she said she would stay with her person until July. And I thought, oh, for heaven's sakes. And I said to him, Mike, you will know. Would you let me know if you think of it? And so he texted me. He said, Emma just left. I said, are you okay? And we both cried. Like, you made me cry there, because they touch our souls like humans don't sometimes, So I'm sorry for your loss, but she's still with, or she?
Yeah,
she's still with you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think she sent Bodhi to me, when we got Bodhi in August. So
they do. I had a horse.
My brother's dog's name is Bodhi.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I had that experience too, and my cat passed away in February of 2020. He had to be put to sleep. This is my first animal I had to put to sleep because he had kidney disease. And when he passed, he wasn't with me right away, but a few days afterwards, after his cremation, after his ashes came back, he was with me. I actually have pictures of his soul. That's one of the things that I started in 2004 with me, that I could see souls of people that passed away, or animals in particular. And he stayed with me for about a month, and then he was gone. But he actually came back in August as a 16-week-old Bengal kitten. And when he came back, it was like an instant soul recognition between us. And the night that he came home, he played with all his toys, and he wouldn't eat out of any other bowl except for his bowl. And when he didn't see me, he had extreme separation anxiety. I know, because he talks to me, and I know he knows he was gone in a place where he did not belong at the moment. his body just couldn't handle it anymore. His body was leaving, but his soul, he's like my soulmate. He's one of my soulmates because he is so close to me and he talks to me and he literally, I have a scientific timeline from when he was gone to when his soul left into the new body. And then he had to travel all the way from LA to get back to the East Coast to come home to me. But he knows he's been gone. He tells me this all the time. Like if I don't pay enough attention to him, he's like, we have to spend time together. I have been gone. I was gone for so long. It was 6 months, but for him, it was so much longer because time goes different where we are than where they are. And he knows something happened and that he wasn't with me, but he wasn't anywhere else either. He was literally in that limbo stage where his soul was just waiting for this new body that was conceived the day that he passed to be put into it to come back to me when he was old enough to come back to. And as we all know, in 2020, animal adoption was huge. So, I put in applications in many places, but the place where I put in the application and I didn't expect anything back from, I put the application in on his birthday, that I didn't know that it was his birthday, but I put the application in on his birthday, and then he came back a few months later. But it was just such an incredible thing, and it's still every day. And he lets me know that he doesn't want to waste any time. He wants to spend as much time as possible. He cuddles up. He's like, it's just such an incredible feeling with him because I connect with him. Dicomio is a big one with us. He loves when I do the Dicomio meditation because he gets so still right in front of me and he just literally, I almost fall asleep. Not just him, because I know they relax so much, but I get into this super relaxed state with him. And we do Reiki together all the time. He does Reiki with me as much as I do it with him. And my other two cats, they love doing Reiki. It's just unbelievable. It's such an amazing thing to be able to share that space with them. And it's not like the normal space that, you just take them for a walk or you have animals. You share that space with them on a higher conscious level. And that for sure. And so do they. It's so profound.
Thank you, Mel.
Beautiful story. Absolutely beautiful story. I have a question. Did you feel any guilt or guilt, I guess, about the euthanasia?
This was my first one. Every animal that I've had passed away in my arms. And I actually took days off from my work because I said, I'm like, he's going to pass away. And he didn't. He held on. He didn't want to go because mentally he's like, I don't want to go anywhere. But his body, I had to move his body. And so yes and no. Yes, because it was something that I've never done before, but no, because this had to happen. And it didn't only have to happen so that it would relieve his suffering, but I've never gone through that. So I would not be able to relate to other people to help them with their animals' transitions or with their own. I wouldn't know how to resonate with them if that experience. And of course, he had to be the one because I had him for 17 years almost. So it's like he was the one that was chosen to be this. The animal that I had to experience with, because he was also my biggest push to do the Animal Reiki.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, just to alleviate any pressures you might feel about residual guilt, when it visits us at 3 a.m. when we can't sleep, every single animal I've done who has passed has wanted me to thank their person for releasing them from their earth body, which was painful and old and creaky. And every single one of them said that they had left their earth body before the body stopped doing its chemical thing. So they were up watching the earth body shut down. I don't like the word die, because the body goes back into the earth, as you know, and the spirit comes back, the soul comes back to you and another animal, in your case for sure, and they do come back. But in case anyone here has held some horrible feelings about, oh, I killed my animal. No, you didn't. You helped them. They have such gratitude. So if you have any of those feelings, was it Mel I was talking to? Just let it go, because your animal would have been right there watching with you and thanking you for doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, even when he was at the vet was like, I don't even know if we need to give him anything, because he was so close to it.
Yeah.
His breathing was so shallow, you know, but he knew that he had to go. He didn't look at me.
No.
And I think that upset me most, because he didn't look at me. He looked away as if he was like, I can't believe this is happening, you know, because normally, and I was just like, that's the part where I was like, we didn't connect at the end. But he literally came. I have pictures of his soul in my bedroom, and he was just hanging out with me, you know. And then he's been back for 2 years now, so he's now a Bengal. So it's funny, because every one of my animals that passes, when they had a certain personality trait, like they were shy, they come back very assertive. Or if they were too aggressive, they come back way more humble. It's like they shift, their personality shifts into what they know that, okay, I was really, I was too aggressive in this lifetime. I'm going to be more humble. And it's one of my other cats. He's not this masculine macho energy anymore. He is way more humble and relaxed and just laid back. And my girl she used to be afraid of everything, and now she's not. So they kind of adjust themselves to the new life that they're coming. They're like, I'm going to do better this one. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be not afraid. I'm going to be happier. I'm going to be, not as aggressive. They're like, I see it's like they see their own lifetime, and they come back as a better version or as a stronger version. And I love that, and they tell me this, and it's like, it's great to have that understanding with animals. So.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Mel. So anyone else have any questions, any experiences that have happened? Everybody's quiet. Liza, did you have anything else you wanted to share? I know you said you had a couple of things.
Yeah, I guess, in the, following the teachings that I've done with Franz and with Kathleen, we always talk about how when you have other things come to you, like I'm clairvoyant. So when those things come up, I've always learned to say, okay, well, that's not what Reiki is. That's like an external thing. So I had a Reiki appointment with a human last week. And I mean, I can't help when those things come up. They just come up, right? So I'm doing my hand positions around her body and everything. And, at one point she's like entering into the forest, and she was a person that, and I'm thoughtful and mindful about whether or not I'm going to share information. Some people are interested, some people are not. So she was very curious if I saw anything. So, I told her the things I saw, and mostly this one thing resonated with her. But what she said was, what you did, whatever happened, you helped me resolve some issues with my mom. She's like, that's not what I expected. I said, yeah, that's kind of how Reiki works. It's whatever you need in the moment. I don't know. I feel like all of a sudden I've kind of lost my point here, or how to explain this exactly. So I tried to kind of tell her about how the things that I saw weren't part of the Reiki. And she's like, but you were doing Reiki when all of this happened. So why isn't it part of the Reiki? And I'm like, wow, how do I answer that question? I mean, I've been doing this for years, but I feel like I don't know. I didn't know what to say to her about that. I felt like I had we've taken something away from her by saying that.
What I try to do before I even go into the session is let people know, I'm not an animal communicator. I'm not here to get messages and communicate with your animal. I'm
Right.
here to create a space, because I had that, when Leah was on the summit, and a lot of people signed up for the free consultation, and what they thought it was going to be was a communication session with their animal.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad Gail showed up anyway, because a lot of them, once they found that out, it's like, oh, okay. But so there's some miscommunication out there. And I have been in situations, so I do try to explain, okay, I'm not a communicator. I'm not here to get messages from the animal. I'm here to create this beautiful space and invite the animal into it so they can heal themselves and receive whatever healing they need. I don't know what that looks like. They know what it looks like. It may be emotional, it may be physical, it may be something totally off the wall, and it doesn't concern me. I don't need to know.
Right.
And then I go into it. Now, I have had animals show me things, and then I have to decide, do I share it with the person? Because it seems like everybody asks if you get messages, right?
Yep, all the time.
What did they tell you? What did they tell you? Even though you've just told them, I'm not here to communicate with them and talk to them. But one client, Burton, he was the drug dog who then went to the nose work, and he and his mom had been together ever since she got him. I mean, every day they'd go to work together, and then the nose work. And so I was over there, and most of the time he didn't show me anything. We just sat in that space. And this particular time, he showed me that he was in prison, in jail, like an old jail like you see on the Western movies. And he was in there with a 20 gangster. And so I just kind of smiled, because I had like, Burton, I don't know what that's about, but okay. And kept on. And then after the session, his mom said, what did he tell you? She said, I know he told you something. I can tell from your face that he told you something. And so I told her what I saw. I said, I have no idea what he told me, but it was an old prison. He was with a gangster, the 20 style gangster with the white shoes. And so she's like, well, maybe it means this, maybe it means this. I said, I don't know. So I try to, there's some people I will share with. She was a regular client. He was a regular client. So I knew I could share with them. I try not to, because then what happens is they hire someone else, maybe they would run into you, Liza, and they'd say, oh, I've had this Reiki before and I want that. And if I'm telling them something and you don't, then they're going to think, oh, well, maybe she doesn't know because she didn't get a message. So I try just to leave that all out, because that gets into the human's ego. And, I just try to explain up front what they can expect, what it's going to look like. It's going to look like I'm not doing anything, because I'm becoming very passive and holding this space. I'm meditating. So I'm not going to have a communication with them. It's not like an animal communicator. And I try to be, try to explain that as best I can. It's still, you still get that question at the end. And
Always.
Always. They always want to know, and I get it. And I just, another thing might be just to tell them, no, there was no messages, but now just watch your animal over the next few days. See what they tell you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, Liza. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. One other thing, totally unrelated to that. So I just recently got my business Facebook page going, and then one for Instagram.
Yay!
And thank you. And so I've done 2 videos, and I'm like, but there's and I don't know if everybody else has them and if you've been posting things. because I know that you do, but do you post all your own stuff or do you have your assistant post your stuff?
Well,
Jamie?
the assistant has been posting recently. I will throw things in. I used to post all the time. I was the only one doing it. And now she does it for us. And if I'm doing something, it's just easier for me, like if, oh, today I'm, out somewhere, it's like, oh, I'll take some pictures and share that. Then I will post it.
So are you utilizing, there's Meta Office
Yes.
So are you using that?
Yes.
Okay, because I was frustrated. On my second video, I did something incorrectly. I couldn't fix it. It ended up posting 2 videos, although I don't think people could technically see both videos. They were exactly the same. I accidentally hit something where you're supposed to be like if you wanted to use 2 different titles to see what got the most hits.
Oh, yeah. I haven't used that, but I know you can do that. So for analytics, yes.
I did it on accident and I couldn't figure out how to delete it. And so now I've got, and they're still like both doing something because some people are liking this one, some people are liking this one. Comments came over here, but not here.
Find out what people are connecting to better.
Nothing's different though. They're both exactly the same. They're I just somehow hit that. So, and then I haven't been able to post that second video. It won't work to go to Instagram. So I was just curious if the Meta business thing for Facebook that,
Instagram has a time limit, so it may be too long.
Okay. I'll check that out.
If you have a longer one on Instagram, you have to do it on the Instagram TV or live video.
This video, the second video is actually shorter, I believe, than the first one. So I'm not quite sure.
30 seconds to post to Instagram.
Oh, really?
The video has to be, yeah. If you have a video already recorded and you want to go through the Meta, whatever, and have it post to Instagram, I believe it's 30 seconds.
Maybe that's why, because I don't think I used Meta the first time. I can't remember. I don't think so though. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good for you though. You're out there.
I'm a little nervous about the whole thing, but I'm figuring it out. Stumbling along.
We all do. It's like, well, that didn't go as planned, but we'll just keep doing it, right? That's how we learn.
Yep.
That's exactly.
You got this, Liza. No worries.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
What's your business page, Liza?
Raven's Heart Reiki.
All right, we're all writing it down. That's great. That is great that you're out there doing it. I mean, we just have to, it's really important what we do, I think, because not only for the animals, most of us, I think, come to this because we want to help animals, right? And we're called to this and it finds its way to us and we want to help the animals. But by doing this kind of work, we are transforming the lives of people as well. Because when they get how important it is that we connect to animals, that we connect to nature, that's how we remember who we are. We don't remember who we are by this busy world that man has created with all the high rises and all the businesses and, the concrete, and you got to climb the ladder to be successful and you got to buy toys and have things. That's taking us away from who we are. It's not that there's anything wrong with owning things. I'm not saying that. But when that becomes our sole mission, to own things, to be part of this physical world, to have success as defined by society, we've forgotten. And animals, they have such a power to bring us back to who we are. They remind us, of everything that is really important. They remind us that there is a spiritual practice. They are a spiritual practice for us. And, they bring us so many things. They bring us the power of the present moment. They bring us like a spiritual practice of gratitude, the power of gratitude, how it can transform our lives. The animals remind us of that. And they know that they're living in the present. They are grateful. Yes, I know there's some that have problems because they've been messed up by people. And I've got one or two here in the house that still suffer some effects of that, but they're doing much better. So they're here for a reason, obviously. And they have taught me so much. And by us going, I know people might think we're nuts when we say we do this. I know that maybe I won't make any money. Maybe I'm going to have a job and do this. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know how to run a business. I have to put myself out on video and people are going to see me. All those things, and fears and worry that we have. And then we have our practice, right? Do not anger. Do not worry. Be humble. Be grateful. Be compassionate to ourselves. Be kind to ourselves when we're trying something new. We don't beat ourselves up. And animals have the ability to teach us that. So it's so important that we share this message, because not only are we elevating the lives of animals and allowing them to have the authorship of their life that they deserve, promoting that idea, we're helping people transform as well. So thank you, everyone, for out there doing it. So we're 22 after. So if anybody has any other comments, we'll take those, or else we'll go into our meditation. Yeah, Darlene, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to share. I don't remember if I shared this before, but there's new people on here too, and I think Gail would get a kick out of this. It was about a week after Roxy had passed, and I was standing in my kitchen. And granted, I've lived in this house for 23 years, and this was on a cupboard in the pattern in the wood grain in a cupboard that I use often. It's where our drinking glasses are, and I don't know if you can see this very well.
Now we can. Yeah, right there.
But it's a dog, and it came to me that was Roxy, watching over me. So I thought that was kind of neat. It's like, how did I never see that? I mean, it's big. It's it's probably like 4 or 5 inches big. So and now whenever I go to that cupboard, I see it, and I know Roxy's watching over me. So
That's amazing. Thanks for that.
That's beautiful.
I really believe it's because it would not have made any sense to you before.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Mel.
You looked at I'm sure you've seen it so many times, and it just didn't. There was no connection to it. Because it happens all the time to me too. I am like, how did I not see this before? And it's because I'm sure I've seen it, but there was no connection to what it was meant for. So that's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. And thank you, Darlene, for sharing that. All right. So we'll close out with our meditation. So if everyone just wants to get comfortable, try to sit with your spine straight, but still comfortable. And then go ahead and bring your hands into Gasso, or the prayer position. And let's just take a couple of deep breaths to release any stress from the day. So inhale deeply. And as you exhale out, relax. Another deep breath in. And exhale and relax. And now let's just set our intention to receive exactly whatever we need to receive in this moment, and to offer whatever the animals would like, to any animal that would like to join you. And now go ahead and place your hands in your lap. It can be palm up or palm down, whatever's comfortable for you. And take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, breathing in deeply, pull it all the way down to the belly or the hara, which is that energy center just below your belly button. And then as you exhale out, visualize that this energy and breath that you just took in is traveling up your body, out your hands and your skin, into the space around you. Take another breath in, visualizing that you're breathing in the healing light of the universe, pulling it down through your body. It's illuminating your cells, going to the hara, your belly. And then as you exhale, this light goes back up and out through your skin and your hands and out into the space around you. Take another breath in, breathing in that beautiful light. It's illuminating every cell in your body. Pull it down to the hara. And now exhale this light back out into the space around you. Breathe in this beautiful light all the way down to your hara, really illuminating your body now. And exhale back out into the space around you. With every exhale, the space is growing larger and larger. Inhale the light. Your body's disappearing. It's just becoming light. The physical is gone. And as you exhale back out, this light travels out farther and farther. It fills your room, your home, your city, your community, and it travels up to the heavens. Just take a few more breaths like that on your own. And now let your breath find a natural rhythm. And just sit in this space. Now put your focus on your hara, that energy center just below your belly button. And if it helps, you can put your hand there and visualize a beautiful, bright light shining outward. Just a circle of light, and it shines outward into the space that you've created. And allow that just to flow out. And now put your focus on your forehead. Visualize a beautiful bright light glowing and circling out into the space around you. This is the energy of the heavens. The hara is the energy of the earth, and the earth and the heaven energy is flowing out of you. Now place your focus on your heart center and visualize a beautiful bright light filling that heart center. And it grows brighter and larger until your heart center can't hold it anymore. And it unfolds like a flower blooms out into the space around you. This is the energy of compassion. And compassion is the ultimate healer. Visualize all these energies flowing out from you. And now invite any animal that would like to participate to step into this energy. Let them know however they choose to participate is fine. They can take as much or as little or none at all from this energy. And now just sit and hold this space for them. Now, once again, bring your hands back into Casa. Thank the animal, whoever showed up, for however they showed up and participated. Give them thanks. Take another deep cleansing breath in all the way down. Pull it down to your belly. Release it. Become aware of your body, your hands, your legs, this room you're in. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for a great conversation. This was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. All right. Bye,
Thank you.
guys. Hope
Thank
to
you,
see you next
Bye.
time. Bye.
Nice to
Bye,
meet you,
everybody.
Gail.
Bye,
Nice to
everybody.
meet
Thank
you.
you. You too. Bye.
Thank you, Gail.
Oh, pleasure.
Bye, Mel.
Bye, Darlene. Bye, Liza. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, John Boy. All right. See you guys.
Bye.